Have you ever poured your heart and soul into something, working tirelessly day in and day out, only to look back and feel like you haven't truly moved forward? Do your biggest goals sometimes feel like distant mirages, shimmering on the horizon but perpetually just out of reach, no matter how hard you push? If you find yourself nodding along, if that sense of static effort resonates with you, then you might be missing a crucial ingredient that the legendary personal development philosopher, Rohn, so powerfully articulated: no plan, no progress, and no future. It's a stark, simple truth, yet its implications are profound, shaping not just our daily achievements but the very trajectory of our lives. Imagine, if you will, a magnificent ship setting sail into the vast, open ocean. It's a marvel of engineering, equipped with a skilled crew, powerful engines, and sails ready to catch the wind. But there's a catch. This vessel has no chart, no compass pointing to a specific destination. The captain hasn't plotted a course, and the crew, despite their immense dedication and hard work, is simply pushing forward without a defined endpoint. They might toil day and night, expertly adjusting the sails, meticulously maintaining the ship, and navigating the immediate waves. But where are they actually going? Will they ever reach a desired port, or will they simply drift aimlessly, at the mercy of currents and storms, eventually running out of supplies and hope in the boundless expanse? This powerful metaphor, often invoked by great thinkers like Rohn, vividly illustrates the human condition when we embark on the journey of life without a clear roadmap. We can be incredibly busy, filling our days with tasks, meetings, emails, and commitments. We can work long hours, attend workshops, read books, and genuinely feel like we're making an effort. But as Rohn so eloquently warned, business does not equate to progress. Without a plan, our actions become fragmented, our energy dispersed, and our hard work, however well-intentioned, often falls into a bottomless well of unfulfilled potential. It's like pouring water into that well. You're exerting significant energy, but you're not seeing any real accumulation or tangible result. That's why Rohn didn't just suggest planning as a good idea. He framed it as an absolute imperative for anyone serious about achieving success and building a bright, meaningful future. So, why do so many of us shy away from planning, or approach it with a superficial, half-hearted attitude? Perhaps it's the fear of failure, the dread that if we commit a goal to paper, its non-achievement will feel even more crushing. Maybe it's the insidious grip of procrastination, whispering that there's always tomorrow, or that planning is too complex, too time-consuming, too tedious. We might feel overwhelmed by the sheer scale of our ambitions, thinking that charting a path to such grand visions is an insurmountable task. Or perhaps we simply misunderstand what planning truly is. We often perceive it as a rigid, restrictive burden, a straitjacket that stifles spontaneity and creativity. However, Rohn challenged this very notion. He taught us that planning is not a burden. It is a profound act of liberation. It's the mechanism that transforms vague aspirations and nebulous dreams into concrete, actionable steps. It's the process of taking something ethereal and giving it form, allowing us to break down monumental goals into manageable, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound components. In essence, planning helps us define what our port looks like, how long it should take to get there, and what specific actions we need to take each day, each week, each month, and each year to eventually drop anchor. This clarity is an incredible gift. When you have a plan, the fog begins to lift. You wake up each morning with a purpose, knowing exactly what needs to be done next. This clarity doesn't just reduce stress, it ignites a powerful internal motivation. It helps you focus your precious energy on the tasks that truly matter, filtering out the endless distractions and minor tasks that often hijack our attention without contributing to our larger vision. A well-crafted plan acts as your personal compass, guiding your decisions and ensuring that every effort, every investment of time and energy, is deliberately moving you closer to your desired future. You can track your progress, celebrate small victories, and witness the tangible accumulation of your efforts, which in turn fuels further dedication. Furthermore, a good plan isn't a rigid, unchangeable decree. It's a dynamic, living document that allows for flexibility and adaptation. Life inevitably throws curveballs, and a solid plan provides the framework to adjust your sails, rechart your course slightly, without losing sight of your ultimate destination. Think about the most successful individuals you admire, regardless of their field. They share a common thread, an unwavering commitment to planning. From visionary entrepreneurs building multi-billion-dollar empires to Olympic athletes training for gold medals, they all start with a clear vision, which they then meticulously translate into a detailed action plan. Their financial plans guide their investments, Their career plans direct their professional growth, and their health plans ensure their physical and mental well-being. Even the simple act of planning your day can yield dramatic results. Spending just 15 minutes each evening to outline your priorities for the next day can transform you from reactive to proactive, significantly boosting your productivity and reducing daily stress. Conversely, the cost of no plan is staggeringly high. It's not merely the absence of progress in the present, it's the forfeiture of a future filled with regret, missed opportunities, and unlived potential. Life isn't a series of random occurrences that simply happen to us. It is, to a significant degree, the cumulative outcome of the choices and actions we make daily. If you fail to consciously and deliberately shape your future through planning, you are effectively ceding control to external forces, to chance, or perhaps even worse, to inertia. Rohn warned that an unplanned life often leads to an unfulfilled future, one where you might look back and be haunted by the persistent question, what if? Don't let yourself fall into that trap of aimlessness. Rohn's message is a powerful reminder. Planning isn't an exclusive privilege for a select few. It's an essential skill for anyone who desires to live a full, purposeful, and successful life. It's time to take control, to map out your journey, and to ensure that every step you take is a deliberate stride towards the future you envision. In the coming segments, we'll dive deeper into specific, actionable strategies for effective planning, dissect common pitfalls, and explore how to transform your aspirations into tangible realities, setting you firmly on the path to the progress and future you truly deserve. Welcome back, everyone. Our last discussion highlighted Rohn's powerful warning: no plan, no progress, and no future. We pictured a ship adrift, mirroring a life without clear direction. Now, we shift from problem to solution, exploring actionable planning strategies and common pitfalls. Our goal is to transform aspirations into tangible realities, setting you on the path to the progress and future you truly deserve. The first, and most critical, step is defining your goals with absolute clarity. Rohn emphasized precision. Vague goals yield no results. Use the powerful SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A specific goal outlines exactly what you want. Instead of get fit, aim for complete a 5K race. Your goal must be measurable. How will you track progress? It needs to be achievable, realistic yet challenging. Is it relevant to your values? Finally, it must be time-bound. A deadline creates urgency. So, a SMART goal might be, I will train for and successfully complete a 5K race by October 31st this year, following a beginner running program 3 times a week. This detailed foundation is crucial for genuine progress. Once SMART goals are clear, break them into smaller, manageable steps. A 5K feels less daunting when broken into run for 15 minutes today. This demystifies large objectives and reveals immediate actions. Rohn advised taking the first step. Prioritize tasks. Not all efforts are equal. Some move you faster. Identify the 20% of efforts yielding 80% of results. Ask, what's the single most impactful thing I can do right now? Focus there, avoiding less impactful activities. This leads to time management and the power of consistency. A brilliant plan is useless without action. Integrate goals into your daily and weekly schedule. Block out dedicated time, treating these appointments seriously. Consistency is the silent engine of progress. Small, sustained efforts compound into massive achievements. Olympic athletes aren't built on one heroic effort, but thousands of consistent daily training sessions. For your 5K, schedule runs on specific days and times, and stick to them. Rohn spoke of the compound effect. Diligence in small tasks leads to significant gains. It's not about huge daily leaps, but consistent, deliberate steps forward. However, even with clear plans, pitfalls emerge. Procrastination is pervasive. We delay, often from fear of failure or feeling overwhelmed. To combat it, Rohn urged us to just start. The hardest part is beginning. Break a task into a microtask, something so easy you can't refuse. If writing a book, your microtask is open the document and write 1 sentence. Momentum often builds. Another pitfall is the fear of failure. What if your plan doesn't work? Rohn taught that failure isn't success's opposite. It's part of the journey. Every setback offers a learning opportunity. Embrace this feedback loop. Another obstacle is a lack of clarity beyond initial goal setting, or feeling overwhelmed by ambition. Many define big goals but fail to map the detailed journey. Jim Rohn's wisdom emphasizes that the plan itself needs a plan. This means charting intermediate waypoints, potential roadblocks, and contingencies. If overwhelmed, your goals aren't broken down enough, or priorities are unclear. Step back. Re-evaluate. Simplify. Focus on the next few steps, not the entire 100. This makes the journey navigable, empowering action over indecision. A clearer path means less worry, more doing. Crucially, an effective plan is not rigid. It's a living document. This involves regular review and adaptability. Life is dynamic, circumstances change, and you evolve. Your plan must accommodate these shifts. Schedule regular check-ins, daily, weekly, monthly, to assess progress. Are you on track? Are strategies effective? Do goals still align? Jim Rohn spoke of adjusting the sails. If you face a storm, don't abandon ship. Review your map, adjust your course, find a new way forward. This iterative process of planning, acting, reviewing, and adapting propels you, keeping your plan relevant and powerful. Beyond mechanics, Jim Rohn highlighted the psychological component, visualization and mindset. Clearly defining your future and planning steps mentally rehearses your success. Visualization isn't magical thinking. It primes your brain, builds confidence, and maintains motivation. See yourself achieving that goal, feel the accomplishment. This mental practice strengthens resolve. Your mindset, your belief in your ability to execute, is critical. Jim Rohn taught that your outer world often reflects your inner world. Believe your plan is viable, commit with a positive attitude, and significantly increase success. Personal development is inseparable from effective planning. Furthermore, embedding plans into habits and leveraging accountability dramatically increases success. Planning isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process that becomes a powerful habit. Make daily or weekly planning a non-negotiable routine. Sharing goals and plans with a trusted friend, mentor, or group provides invaluable accountability. Knowing someone else is aware of your commitments motivates you to stay on track. This external push, combined with internal drive, creates a robust support system. Jim Rohn emphasized association, surrounding yourself with people who uplift your growth. Ultimately, planning isn't just about achieving targets, it's about shaping the person you become. It cultivates discipline, foresight, resilience, and commitment to your potential. Each time you clarify a goal, break it down, schedule an action, overcome a setback, and adapt, you build character, wisdom, and capability. You are authoring your life story, consciously and deliberately. Jim Rohn's mantra, no plan, no progress, no future, is not a threat, but an empowerment. It's a profound reminder that the future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create. By embracing meticulous planning, you transform from a passive observer into your life's active architect. You lay the blueprint for a life of meaning, purpose, and lasting legacy. Indeed, becoming your life's active architect is not merely a poetic notion. It signifies a profound and actionable shift in how you approach every single day, every single week, every single year. It's about intentional living, moving beyond the randomness of circumstance and taking deliberate command of your trajectory. Yet, despite the undeniable logic and the myriad examples of success built upon meticulous planning, many of us still find ourselves hesitant, even resistant, to truly embrace this foundational principle. Why is that? What holds us back from drawing up the very blueprints that could lead us to our most cherished visions? Often, it boils down to a few deeply ingrained psychological hurdles. Perhaps it's the fear of failure, the trepidation that if you commit your dreams to paper, making them concrete and measurable, you also make them vulnerable to the harsh light of reality and the sting of potential disappointment. It feels safer, in a peculiar way, to keep goals vague, tucked away in the realm of possibility, where they can never truly be failed. But Jim Rohn would remind us that failing to plan is planning to fail, and that the only true failure is the one born of inaction and a refusal to attempt. Then there's the overwhelming sensation that can accompany grand aspirations. When faced with a monumental goal, the sheer scale of the undertaking can paralyze us. Where do you even begin to plan something so vast? This feeling of being swamped often leads to procrastination, a familiar trap where we convince ourselves that we'll start planning tomorrow, or when things settle down, which, as we all know, rarely happens. The truth is, things almost never settle down unless we actively make them. Another common misconception is that planning somehow stifles spontaneity or creativity. Some people believe that a rigid schedule will turn life into a monotonous sequence of tasks, stripping away all joy and unexpected delights. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. A well-constructed plan, far from being a cage, is actually a launchpad for true freedom. Think about it. When your core objectives are clearly defined and the path to achieve them is mapped out, you gain an immense amount of mental space and energy. You're no longer constantly scrambling, reacting to whatever demands come your way. Instead, you have the structure that allows for thoughtful deviations, for creative problem-solving within a larger framework, and for truly enjoying those spontaneous moments, because you know they aren't derailing your entire mission. It's like a seasoned jazz musician who understands the fundamental scales and chords so intimately that they can improvise breathtakingly beautiful melodies. Their mastery of structure enables their creativity. It doesn't inhibit it. And let's not forget the simple fact that many people just don't know how to plan effectively. They might confuse planning with wishful thinking, or they create lists that are more aspirational than actionable. This is where Jim Rohn's pragmatic wisdom truly shines. He taught us that a plan isn't a stone tablet. It's a living document, a dynamic strategy that requires continuous review and adaptation. It's not about being perfectly right from the outset, but about having a starting point, a directional compass, that you can recalibrate as you navigate the changing winds and tides of life. This iterative process, this willingness to adjust and refine, is what transforms a static document into a powerful tool for progress. A good plan acknowledges that setbacks will occur, that new information will emerge, and that flexibility is paramount. It gives you a baseline for evaluation, allowing you to ask, is this still working? Do I need to pivot? What have I learned from this step? This brings us to the crucial link between planning and daily action, and the incredible power of momentum. The most daunting goals become achievable when meticulously broken down into smaller, manageable steps, each with its own mini-plan. Imagine wanting to write a book. The thought of 80,000 words can be crushing. But if your plan involves writing 500 words a day, 5 days a week, suddenly the task becomes far less intimidating. Each time you hit that 500-word mark, you get a small, tangible win. These small victories accumulate, building momentum, boosting your confidence, and reinforcing the belief that you can achieve your larger objective. It's this consistent, planned effort that truly moves the needle, not bursts of frantic activity followed by long periods of stagnation. Jim Rohn constantly emphasized the irreplaceable value of time and effort. Without a plan, our efforts, no matter how earnest, often resemble pouring water into a sieve. We might be incredibly busy, running from one task to another, constantly feeling productive, but are we actually moving closer to our cherished goals? Are we truly building the future we envision? Or are we simply expending energy without clear direction, getting caught in the whirlwind of business without true productivity? Jim Rohn's message was a powerful distinction. Business is not necessarily progress. Only planned, purposeful action, aligned with your overarching vision, constitutes genuine progress. Your time is your most precious, non-renewable asset. Planning ensures you're investing it wisely, strategically, rather than just spending it haphazardly. It transforms your daily activities from mere expenditures of energy into meaningful investments towards your future self. Ultimately, a life lived by design, with a clear plan as its foundation, is a life rich with purpose and achievement. It's a life characterized by fewer what ifs and if onlys, replaced instead by the satisfaction of having pursued your potential and built something meaningful. You move from a reactive state, constantly responding to external pressures, to a proactive one, where you are the orchestrator of your destiny. You gain the peace of mind that comes from knowing you are steadily building towards a future you've consciously chosen. This is the profound promise of planning. It allows you to step into the future you truly desire, not one you merely stumble into by chance. It empowers you to create your legacy, to leave your mark, and to live a life that genuinely reflects your deepest values and aspirations. So, let's discard the excuses, conquer the fears, and embrace the liberating power of the plan. Your future is waiting for you to draw its map. Your future is waiting for you to draw its map. And what an incredible opportunity that is, right? To be the architect of your own destiny, to design the life you truly want to live. This isn't just an abstract philosophical concept. It's a practical, actionable principle Jim Rohn championed with clarity. He didn't just tell us what to do, but he illuminated why it was so profoundly important. The liberating power of the plan isn't about rigid constraints or suffocating schedules. Quite the opposite, actually. It's about freedom, freedom from uncertainty, freedom from regret, and freedom to direct your energy towards what truly matters. Think about it this way. When you lack a plan, your days can feel like a series of reactions to external demands. You're constantly putting out fires, responding to emails, attending impromptu meetings, or getting sidetracked by distractions. You might feel busy, even productive, but at the end of the day, there's that nagging feeling, that quiet whisper asking, did I really move closer to my dreams today? Without a map, every step is just a step, not necessarily moving you forward in the direction you intend to go. It's like being a leaf on the wind, carried wherever the current takes you, rather than being the captain of your own ship, steering with clear purpose. The freedom that planning offers is multifaceted. Firstly, it frees up mental energy. When your goals are hazy and your path is undefined, your mind constantly grapples with uncertainty. You spend precious cognitive resources trying to figure out what to do next, weighing options, or simply procrastinating because the sheer magnitude of the unknown is overwhelming. A clear plan, however, acts as a mental roadmap, reducing decision fatigue and allowing your brain to focus on execution rather than endless deliberation. Imagine the sheer mental clarity you gain when you wake up each morning knowing precisely what critical actions you need to take to advance your most important objectives. That's not merely efficient, it's profoundly empowering. Secondly, a plan liberates you from the tyranny of the urgent. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in immediate demands, those tasks that scream for your attention but may not actually contribute to your long-term vision. Rohn often talked about the importance of distinguishing between what's urgent and what's important. Without a plan, the urgent almost always wins, pushing the truly important, the future-building activities, further and further down the priority list, until they often disappear entirely. A well-crafted plan acts as a shield, protecting your precious time and energy for the vital work that shapes your future. It allows you to say no to distractions with confidence and yes to opportunities that align with your deepest aspirations. This selective engagement isn't about being unhelpful. It's about strategic focus on your personal trajectory. Now, some might hear plan and immediately envision something rigid, stifling, or even intimidating. Perhaps you've tried planning before, and it felt like a restrictive straitjacket. This is where Rohn's wisdom truly shines, because he understood that a good plan isn't meant to be an inflexible dogma. Quite the contrary. It's a dynamic, living document. Think of a plan not as concrete poured in place, but as a compass and a set of waypoints. The compass gives you direction, and the waypoints mark key milestones. But the exact terrain between those points might change, requiring you to adjust your immediate route. The core destination remains, but your path to it can and should be adaptable. The world changes, circumstances shift, and new information emerges. A truly effective plan incorporates this flexibility, allowing for course corrections without losing sight of the ultimate goal. Rohn taught us that while the what and why might be fixed, the how can be iterative and responsive. This understanding transforms planning from a daunting obligation into an agile strategic tool. The price of no plan extends far beyond a mere lack of progress. It's a subtle erosion of potential, a quiet forfeiture of opportunities. It manifests not just in the big, grand failures, but in the everyday frustrations and missed chances. Without a clear financial plan, for instance, you might find yourself consistently living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where all your money went. Without a career development plan, you might watch others ascend the ladder while you remain stagnant, despite your best efforts. Without a plan for your health, good intentions often give way to convenience, leading to suboptimal well-being. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they cumulatively build into a life that feels less than fulfilling, a future characterized by if onlys and what ifs. Rohn frequently spoke about accumulated results. Just as small, consistent positive actions with a plan lead to significant success, so too do small, consistent unplanned actions or inactions lead to stagnation or regression. It's the compounding effect of daily choices, guided or unguided. A lack of planning often forces us into a reactive mode, where we are constantly responding to external stimuli rather than proactively shaping our circumstances. This state of constant reaction is not only draining but also disempowering. You stop being the driver of your life and become a passenger, subject to the whims of others and the currents of chance. This is precisely what Rohn warned against. He urged us to be proactive, take charge, and write our own script rather than simply reading lines others have given us. To truly build a future of meaning and purpose, we must engage in intentional living, and intentional living is fundamentally rooted in thoughtful, deliberate planning. It's about being purposeful with time, energy, and resources. Moreover, effective planning isn't just about achieving external markers of success. It's deeply intertwined with internal satisfaction and peace of mind. There's a profound sense of accomplishment and calm that comes from knowing you're on track, that you're working towards something meaningful, and that your efforts are aligned. When you have a plan, even the most challenging obstacles become less daunting because you have a framework within which to address them. You can analyze, adjust, and continue moving forward, rather than feeling paralyzed by the unexpected. This psychological benefit, reduced anxiety and increased self-efficacy, is a powerful byproduct of embracing the planning discipline. It solidifies your belief in your own ability to navigate life's complexities and achieve your aspirations. Rohn understood that true wealth isn't merely financial. It's also the wealth of a well-lived, well-directed life. Consider the diverse applications of this vital principle. In finance, a budget and investment plan aren't just about numbers. They're about building security, reaching financial independence, and having the resources to pursue your passions. In relationships, a conscious effort to nurture connections, to plan quality time, or to communicate effectively can strengthen bonds and foster deeper understanding. In personal learning, a reading plan or a skill development roadmap ensures continuous growth and keeps you intellectually vibrant. Even something as simple as planning your meals for the week can save time, money, and improve your health. Rohn's philosophy is universally applicable because it taps into a fundamental human need: direction and purpose. It's about bringing intentionality to every facet of your existence, not merely your career or financial aspirations. This iterative nature of planning is crucial. It's not a one-time event where you draw a map and then never look at it again. Instead, it's a continuous cycle of setting goals, creating strategies, taking action, reviewing progress, learning from experience, and then refining your plan. This constant feedback loop is what makes planning so powerful and resilient. It allows for adaptation and growth, ensuring that your plan remains relevant and effective as you evolve and as your environment changes. Rohn often spoke about personal development as a journey, not a destination. Your plan is your essential guide for that journey, and just like any good guide, it needs to be consulted regularly and updated based on the terrain you've covered and the new landscapes you encounter. This regular review isn't a sign of failure but a mark of wisdom, a commitment to continuous improvement. And let's not forget the power of small steps. Many people get overwhelmed by the idea of creating a grand, elaborate plan for their entire life. They freeze before they even begin. Rohn would remind us that even the longest journey begins with a single step, and the most comprehensive plan starts with a single, clear objective. Don't feel you need to map out every single detail for the next 5 years tomorrow. Start by planning your next month, your next week, or even just your next day. Break down those bigger, aspirational goals into smaller, manageable, actionable tasks. What's one small thing you can do today to move you a millimeter closer to your desired future? Write it down. Plan it. Execute it. This approach makes planning accessible, reduces intimidation, and builds momentum. Each small success fuels the next, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. Ultimately, embracing Rohn's powerful insight, no plan, no progress, and no future, isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about taking proactive ownership of your life and your aspirations. Your future isn't a mystical, predetermined destination you simply arrive at. It's a construction, a masterpiece you build, day by day, choice by choice, with a plan. It's about moving beyond simply wishing for a better life and actively designing one. So, take up your pen, open your notebook, and start drawing that map. Your incredible future is waiting for your intentional creation. So, take up your pen, open your notebook, and start drawing that map. Your incredible future is waiting for your intentional creation. Rohn's powerful truth echoes: no plan, no progress, and no future. This isn't just a phrase. It's fundamental for a life of purpose. We've seen how lacking a plan leaves us adrift, endlessly busy but going nowhere. Vague aspirations remain just that until transformed into concrete steps. Planning, far from a chore, is your ultimate tool for liberation. It turns dreams into tangible goals, providing clarity and motivation. It empowers you to track progress, celebrate wins, and adapt gracefully to life's curveballs. Think of it as guardrails for your ambition, channeling efforts effectively towards your destination. Don't let fear or procrastination prevent you from designing the life you want. Every successful individual, from athletes to entrepreneurs, understands the non-negotiable power of a well-crafted plan. It doesn't need perfection. It just needs to begin. Start small. Map out your next week, a project, or just tomorrow. The simple act of envisioning your path ignites a spark, shifting you from passive observer to active architect of your destiny. The cost of inaction, of continuing without a plan, is too high. It's a future of what-ifs, unfulfilled potential, and drifting instead of steering. You deserve more. You deserve a future meticulously crafted by your own hands, guided by your vision. So, embrace planning not as an obligation, but an opportunity. Seize the power to define direction, accelerate progress, and build the remarkable future you envision. Start planning today. Your future self will thank you.